Hello, everyone. Lovely to be with you all. So invite yourself to do nothing. Be open to the understanding that all is well as it is. In your openness, the understanding is effortless. And this openness is your natural state. This effortless, aware presence is your true self, your true being, your real self. In inviting ourselves to simply be, meaning not being anything, not being anybody. All is well. The background of all activity is non-activity. The reality of form is no form. It is silence which takes on the form of sound. The sound is made out of silence. It is silence vibrating within itself, rubbing itself against itself. So invite your body-mind to this still, silent, present. This presence which always is. There's no need to hold on to anything. Invite every sensation within your body to its complete freedom. No boundaries. You don't need to think of yourself as somebody. You don't need to maintain an image. To define yourself. We often define ourselves via our sensations, via the senses. But how lovely it is to simply be without knowing, undefined, unstructured, no labels. This pure presence, which is love. This journey is a journey of discovery, of understanding, about reality, your reality, your true self. It is not about maintaining and managing a mean narrative or achieving personal goals, which is okay. But it's about understanding, the understanding about that which understands, about that which is real, that which truly perceives, that which knows, the understanding that this knowingness does not arise out of an object, does not arise in an object. It arises out of itself. This knowledge is not a brain activity. The understanding about I can illuminate the body-mind, but it does not arise out of the body-mind activity. Whenever you put to rest your notions about yourself, about the world, about the body-mind, there is an availability. The stage is clear. The space is uncluttered. There are no limitations. In the absence of beliefs about me, about the world, it's pure not knowing. Borderless being. So over and over, we turn our attention to where this attention arises from. It does not arise out of a thought, out of a perception, out of a sensation. Attention arises out of its source, which is not an object, not an idea, not a belief, not a construct. The source is always on, like the sunshine. You don't need to dress up the source with a body-mind construct. You do not need to bring in the past, history, thoughts, and memories. You do not need to bring in time. Everything that arises, that appears to you, arises from the source, which precedes it. When it comes to the source, there are no limitations. And you, the sense of I, whichever way you define it, do, do not stand apart from the source. Wherever I go, there I am. This ordinary aware presence. The body mind has a certain identity, a certain personality, certain traits. but that is not what you are. You are the knowingness, the awareness, which is not a personality, which does not have any phenomenal traits or phenomenal characteristics. So rather than being a wave in the ocean, be the ocean. Allow the ocean to reveal itself to you as your very self. The understanding about truth, about reality, is the journey to God. And living your life is a journey in God. How you live, how you listen, how you speak, how you think, how you act. The maturing of the understanding, the maturity of the understanding, the blooming of the understanding is in living this understanding as best we can. When our intention is to live this understanding, it is God's intention as well. And God is love. She's always available to us, always there holding our hand. We are safe. Chosen. You've chosen I, and I've always chosen you. The choiceless choice. The choice of love and beauty and compassion and friendship and compassion, vulnerability, humility, availability, openness, listening. Not to be so certain, but anything. Like a river flows. It is the flow of the river which nourishes the fields, and the birds come to wash their wings, and poets sit on the shore and listening to the gurgling of the river, the sounds, the sights, and poetry, the poetry of the river. You are the river, you are the poetry. You are love. So if you have any questions, please unmute yourself or just raise your hand.
Hi, Magdi.
Hello,
Hello.
hello, Mark. Yes.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey, the thing that's it's not an angst, but what I'm hoping to kick around a little is the experience of self other, how that kind of goes back and forth. I apologize. I don't really have a clear question out of it. I've been in that exploration for a bit now. So even saying the word I is a bit of a that's maybe part of the exploration. In any case, whatever your
What
thoughts, if you
what
want to share anything.
what's the issue with the saying I? Can you say some more?
Oh, oh, okay. So yeah, that's a great question. I suppose there's the sensation of in the body that we refer to, that in the a locality, right? In the body mind.
So
That's
you're talking about
the sensation. Pardon?
you're talking about
Go
like
ahead.
the local sense of I, the local,
Yeah, yes, yeah, and then
local.
there's that, and then there's um, being out and about amongst. Here's I got to use this word, others, right?
Right.
So in the foundation teaching, I guess I might be off on this, but there's only one. Really, there's not all this individuality going on, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So you see where I'm kind of fuddled there.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
I don't know. I could say more if you
Right. Right.
haven't.
I got it.
Okay.
So in your hand are five fingers, and the pinky is not the thumb, right? And every finger is different, but in fact, they're all just the hand, it's part of the same hand. So the hand is made out of five fingers. Uh, so the other is from the perspective of the thumb, the other is the pinky. From the perspective of the pinky, the other is the thumb. But the pinky and the thumb, they're the same hand. So the other is my very self, in essence. In essence, it's the same hand, same self, the same consciousness, the same
I
awareness, the same reality.
I have had the experience of what I my words for it are say I am that. So there's that experience where consciousness is recognized as everywhere, and so there's a little bit of that experience here that where I think I'm just touching the surface of it. Where no matter where I look, no matter what I look, if it's a person, it doesn't matter what it is. I am that. Um, and I think that maybe I'm beginning in a sort of a visceral integration, or I mean a body sensory
Mhm.
integration. Am I making any? I don't know if it's useful, but
Experientially, there's only one I. Experientially. Conceptually, there is I number one, I number, there are other I's conceptually, but experientially, there's only one I. Can you relate to that?
only one I. Let me
One awareness, one
percolate.
consciousness, one self. Well, experientially, we do not experience another being than being itself.
Why? Yeah, I'm looking for the language to.
That which
So that I mean, I
that
think
which
that's
perceives, we do not experience two different perceivers. We experience many different perceptions, but we do not experience two different perceivers.
got it. Right. Yeah, that's what I would say is the occasionally when there's an I am that kind of recognition.
No, I'm talking about, I'm inviting you to look at the question experientially. Do you ever experience a different perceiver than that one perceiver?
Of course, no, not
Right.
no.
So it doesn't have to do with any conditions. It's always the case when you look at the question, do I ever experience another perceiver than the perceiver which is perceiving right now this perception? The answer is no. It's always whatever that is which is perceiving is this one perceiver. There isn't a different perceiver. There are different perceptions, different sensations, different thoughts. But
there's a sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, you're helping me to get into this a little further. So there's this experience that I have to use the word I experience that I have, that if well, I'm out in a public area or a grocery store or something, let's say, and there are, here's the word others, and then sort of being maybe jostled around or bumped into, or kind of so I'm digging into my own sensory as this individual. I'm having a sensory experience of saying being bumped into or something. So now it seems like it's someone other that has bumped into me. But I know I get it that it's the one perceived.
Yeah, you could say that there is something that bumped into something else. So there is body A that bumped into body B. And so you're perceiving, I guess that would be a sensation. Like say, for example, somebody bumps into your shoulder because they're moving really fast. And so you're perceiving a sensation, right?
Yes.
But that which is perceiving the sensation is the same that which right now is perceiving this perception right now.
Yes. I'm trying to dig into it and see why I've created a distinction there. That
well, let's just stay with it just for a minute. Okay. There may be, I'm not saying that there is, but there may be a narrative saying, okay, I am this whatever, this body, I guess this, I am the mark body, that mark the male form, and this other form, bumped into me. So at that moment, that narrative has started an assumption or is arising out of the assumption or the belief, you could say, that I, meaning whatever it is which is perceiving this perception right now, or whatever it is which was perceiving the sensation, that perceiver, let's say, is in fact the body mind, which is marked. It's in fact an object. It's in fact a form. Now the question is, what validates that belief? What upon what?
Well, I think you kind of nailed it for me when you mentioned the narrative part. I already caught myself. I could see it where there's the narrative starts up if I'm out in public. There's a narrative, and it's really quick and subtle and small, but it's enough to create a what is it? That's a slight discomfort of self others.
Yes,
it's that narrative. Yeah, you busted me. You got me.
Right. When we define ourselves, meaning when we define whatever it is which right now is perceiving, the perceiving element, the perceiving aspect, whenever we define awareness as being an object, as being, in male form or whatever way we define, at that moment, we somehow have moved into defining and limiting awareness, consciousness. We're limiting and defining I, because I use the word I referring to reality. I don't use the word I referring to the body. I refer to the body as a body, male body, female body, certain age, certain form. I don't refer to I as the body, always referring to I as consciousness. So when you say, I went to the market, it's a way of speaking, but in fact, you don't go anywhere. The market appears to you. The body appears to you. The road appears to you. The sensation of the steering wheel appears to you. The movement of the hands appear to you. You are the perceiving aspect, the perceiving element, the invisible self, which right now perceives this perception, but you are not in the perception. You are not an object in the perception. You perceive the body, you perceive thoughts, you perceive bodily sensation, but you are not defined by the bodily sensation or by what you perceive. But when we minimize, reduce our reality, which is this borderless, universal, effortless awareness, when we minimize or reduce universal consciousness to be a particular object, a form, a me existing in time and space, then we are going to experience a sense of limitation. The package deal of the sense of limitation is that I will experience a me and another as a separate other. I won't experience the other as myself, or I don't experience everything as myself. Rather, I experience myself as a separate object or a separate thing, a separate reality. And there are other things bumping into me, hopefully gently bumping into me. And that would be my experience. And of course, what goes hand in hand with believing myself to be a phenomenal form is the sense of limitation, worry and concern, the sense of lack, fear. What's going to happen to me tomorrow? Why did she or he bump into me and say sorry? Because I am this body mind and I am in the preservation mode. I'm trying to preserve something which started to decay from the moment of birth. I'm trying to preserve a corpse because I've identified myself with a corpse. Because the body is a corpse that is right now sentient, but in a little period of time, it won't be sentient anymore. It's like a leaf on the tree. It's very beautiful and green, and it's very beautiful when it's yellow and orange, and then it's beautiful when it's brown, decaying on the ground. But at some point, it's no longer, it's being part of the earth. The only reason why we preserve a corpse is because we are identified. We have identified ourselves. Ourself meaning the reality which perceives, the I, which right now is not a form. Right now in your experience, it is the formless reality which perceives. The I which perceives, the source, is not an object. Because an object does not perceive. An object is perceived. And yet you perceive. So the you that perceives is not an object. You see? It's not an object.
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah.
The corpse metaphor is, or maybe not even a metaphor. That's interesting. Often I feel that there's a sense of death or dying for me often. That's not a painful physical experience, but the experience of seems like so much has that I've let go of so much. There's no longer identifying seems to be a analogous to death.
Yeah. There's a certain freedom in this sort of death.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, absolutely. Because you get to, right. Then I'm letting go of the identity that causes suffering. Right. Chunks of it anyway.
Right. And then you're more available to whatever unfolds, because you're not identified. So there's a less clutter on the stage,
Less clutter.
Yeah. And then there is less clutter.
Junkyard.
Yeah. Right.
That's my favorite phrase. I mean, okay. Yeah, thank you. That was helpful.
Okay, Mark. Good to see you. Any question?
Hi, Mike. This is Anna.
Yes. Hello, Anna.
I get so much joy. I love the corpse. Does it happen that the corpse can be left as a corpse in an immediate sense, or it needs to be in a process?
I'm not sure I understand the question.
I carry this corpse around, and I don't like to be identified with the corpse. I'm grateful. I want to sit by the river with the birds and not be attached to all the narratives. And yet I catch myself. I am a housewife, and there are the holidays, and there are the preparations, and I catch myself injecting life in the corpse, and I don't like that. But it's not an act of will, it's just an act of awareness, right? To leave behind this identification and being stuck in the narratives and
Well, you can let go of the identification, but you don't need to let go of the play. So you go to the circus and you enjoy many different illusions, magicians doing all sorts of performances and tricks, and you enjoy the show. You buy some peanuts, or you eat some peanuts, maybe some chestnuts. Now it's around Christmas, you eat some chestnuts. You enjoy so you're a housewife, you help in the house, you decorate the house, you welcome the family. You don't need to necessarily identify in any way. You don't need to identify with anything, the corpse, or it's a play, so you can enjoy the play, you can enjoy the show, enjoy the friendship, the family, creating a very beautiful welcoming home. They are not obstacles. These are not obstacles. Life is not an obstacle to God.
Oh, that's good. Life is not an obstacle.
Because what is life? It's God's creation, right? I mean, it is universal consciousness taking on the form of life, perceptions, sensations, family, conversations, chit-chats, etc. This is not an obstacle. The identification is additional. We are protecting something. You're protecting, well, it makes sense to protect your body. When it's cold, you dress up in warm clothes. When you're hungry, you feed the body. When the body is tired, you give it rest. It's taking care, being loving and gentle and caring for the body. You're also loving and gentle and caring for your family, towards your friend, the mailman or the mail person. When you go to the grocery, you appreciate the service. The cashier is standing, she or he is standing for hours. You appreciate, So in life, there can be a sweetness. Sometimes there are difficult times. The body maybe not to be so healthy, and we do our best with it. But we can remain open to our understanding. Our understanding is that consciousness is universal, not personal. That consciousness is the reality. That everything that's unfolding is consciousness at play. So that understanding is important to live it, not to make life an opposition to our spiritual work. No. Life is actually...
That is so good. No opposition.
Where we apply, where we celebrate, where we express the love, the understanding, the caring for others and for ourselves, of course. We take care of our body, mind, take care of our home, take care of our family, we take care of our bank account, our health, etc. That's part of part of the play, you see. So when you go to the circus, you can enjoy, buying some roasted chestnuts or corn on the cob, enjoy it, and your pleasures, your enjoyment, and of course, you enjoy the show. You're kind and loving and available, because the mystery of consciousness includes Maya, includes life, with whichever way it moves, whichever way it moves. You see, it's a harmony. We do our best to move as harmonious as possible, and sometimes part of the harmony is a bump. Like Mark was saying, bump. This bump is part of the dance. You see, it's not like, oh, why did you bump me? No, it's not. Oh, you see, like in the martial arts, there's a flow. You see, so the key thing is the living freshly in the moment, not historically, not from the past, not to live from Anna, the past, the daughter, the mother, the neighbor, to be freshly in the moment, fresh in the moment. And from this fresh presence, everything unfolds, everything arises. From not to carry the past, not to carry any definitions, beliefs about yourself and others. And allow the wisdom, which is a universal wisdom, to unfold, because universal wisdom is going to tell you in the moment, no, don't open the door to this person. Don't open door A, open door B. The universal wisdom will guide you. You don't.
Oh, I know that. I experienced that,
Yes.
Magji. I did.
Yes. So we are available to that. We're available to that because we are not separate from the universe. We're not separate from anything, they say. It's not like this, I am not separate from this, but I am separate from that. No. This and that is just the conceptual distinctions we make. Sometimes they're very practical and useful, but in essence, the I, meaning reality of being, is non-phenomenal and therefore borderless and universal. And the I that you refer to is universal I. The personal I is the universal I. The personal I is actually universal I, manifesting via this body-mind as I. Hi, how are you? Oh, I'm fine, how are you? You see?
Oh, but it's coming because then I am this I in the separate, but because I am universal and I am relaxed without carrying judgments and narratives,
Yes.
I can be like, I can sit with you by the river.
Yes.
And we don't make nothing of the birds. We just let them be and let them fly away.
We enjoy them.
Then
we enjoy them.
The dog come and maybe the dog poops and we say, oh, that's okay too. Is that what you're saying, right?
Well, the dog poop I'm not sure about, but yes, I love the singing of the birds.
I mean,
no, I get it. I understand.
No judgment. Yeah. Thank you so much, Magji. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. That's a gift for my holidays. Thank you.
Okay. Happy holidays. Any questions?
Magdi?
Yes. Hello, Thomas.
Hi. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Yes, that's Thomas.
It's often said by Rupert Spura, or not, actually, it's not often said, but he has said, this is a more kind of nuanced observation or statement of his, and I've heard other non-dual teachers say it too, um, including a kind of traditional Swami, who I guess that's not Advaita Vedanta non-duality. It's a more kind of, I don't know, maybe traditional non-duality teaching, but I've heard them say a lot that we don't experience consciousness directly. So I'm wondering what or how what your understanding is of what we do experience directly if we're not experiencing independently existing objects and phenomena, people, et cetera, and at the same time we're not experiencing consciousness directly, then what is our direct experience of what is our direct experience in these bodies from your perspective,
Yeah.
if that makes sense to you? Or I mean, I'm not even sure if it's not talked about that often, but it is referred to by Rupert Spura and other non-dual teachers on occasion in more kind of nuanced dialogues.
Yes, yes. So it depends how we define the term experience. Like in this moment, oh, what is experience? How did we define experience? Before even the concept experience, meaning in silence, in silent presence, there are no words, there is no language. But given that there are no words and no language, one could not say that that means there is nothing. So we can define experience in referring to phenomena. Experience like I perceive, I sense, I think, I taste, I smell. So we can say the experience is via the senses and via the mind, the five senses and the realm of thoughts and imagination. I'm experiencing a pink flying elephant, imagining it, and I'm seeing it flying. So we can define experience phenomenally. Now, what is it that perceives a thought? The thought appears, there is no thought which appears without the perceiving aspect, the knowing aspect. There's no thought outside of that which knows it. Right? So there is a knowingness or a perceiving. Now, there is a common belief that perceiving only arises when there is an object. In other words, that there is no such thing as perceiving without an object. And based upon this belief, then we come to the conclusion that there is only phenomenal perceiving. There's only phenomenal knowing. Because in the absence of phenomena, based upon that belief, there is no knowing. But when we investigate the belief that knowingness arises only with a thought or with a perception, we can arrive to the conclusion that we're not certain of that. That in fact, there are holes, too many holes that are poked in that belief. And once we come to the understanding that this belief does not stand on its own solid ground, we may be open to the possibility that knowingness is independent of phenomena, is independent of perceiving a thought, and otherwise perceiving or the knowing aspect does not depend on the presence of a form, of an object, of a thought, or of a perception, or of a sensation. Once we come to that understanding, then we have arrived to the understanding that there is another experience besides the phenomenal experience of perception, sensations, and mentation. That there is, in fact, another experience, which is the experience of pure knowing, pure awareness, or pure consciousness. Now, the question is then, is the pure knowing or pure consciousness or pure awareness, is it an experience or not? In other words, do we know that awareness or consciousness or knowingness stand on its own 2 feet, independent of phenomena? Do we know that conceptually? Or is that understanding a true understanding, an experiential understanding? In other words, an understanding that is not just conceptual. In other words, do we know the taste of the mango because it's been described to us? Or have we actually tasted the mango? And therefore we can speak about the taste of the mango from our experience of the taste of mango, and not simply from a description. So consciousness, knowing itself independent of form, is an experience, but it is not a phenomenal experience. Knowing that there is an oak tree in the yard, in other words, consciousness taking on the form of a perception, is as well an experience in the presence of a phenomena, meaning as consciousness takes on the form of a perception, it is also an experience. So consciousness is an experience both in its purity, one could say, as it is resting, or one could say in its stillness, and consciousness is an experience as it takes on the form of a perception, a sensation, or a thought. In other words, across the board, consciousness is an experience in the presence or absence of form. I would finally make the following comment that in our common conditioned understanding, or one could say in ignorance, we believe that there is a personal experiencer of any experience. But in wisdom, there is only consciousness, experiencing itself as itself, whether it is not taking on the form of any perception or whether it is. So maybe going in a slightly different direction, you know you are conscious right now, you know you're aware. You don't know that because of some hearsay or because your priest, rabbi, or mufti has told you that. You know you're aware experientially, directly. It is your direct experience of awareness, being aware that it is aware. Awareness, I'm aware, and I'm aware that I'm aware. I know I am, and I am. I am, and I know that I am.
Thank you, Magdi.
So if you're interested in it, the recording, Holger uh, puts the recording on his channel. Holger, maybe you could share with Thomas the site in case Thomas may be interested in revisiting this question. It's a good question. It's an important question to take a look at because there are a lot of very subtle nuances to this question that may require further investigation, further inquiry.
Yeah, I'm basically like I'm trying to kind of triangulate three different perspectives on non-duality with this question. The way you answered it was from like, the Rupert Spura, Francis Lucio school, but there's two other kind of schools of non-duality that kind of relate to that question. But I don't know. Sometimes maybe I'm just overcomplicating it all. Just forget about it. I like your more simple explanation and maybe getting into like, kind of dissecting stuff. It starts to get it has its place, but also what I've noticed too is that when I do that, then I just start getting too much into the mind, and things starting getting too complicated, which sometimes is okay. It has its place, but then other times Like I find myself just too much into like splitting hairs and nuance and
I see. Okay. Oh,
but thank you for your answer.
yes, you're welcome. But if if there is a niche in our the work we do, it's a good idea to uh, take a look at that itch, whether, as you say, sometimes maybe I'm overcomplicating things, or sometimes the itch just keeps recurring, and then I need to sort of really explore that.
Mhm.
So I trust that you are well on the path and you know what you're doing.
Mhm. Yeah.
Very lovely to be with you all. I wish you all a happy New Year, peaceful New Year, joyful for you and your family and your loved ones and everybody. So,
Thank you.
thank you all, Holger, dear friend, and Shelley, Thomas, Anna.
Thank you, Magdi.
مرحبا رولا أهلين.
مرحبا أهلا.
Nice to see you, and Mark.
Nice to see you.
Mina, hello Mina. And Dutch,
Thank you.
Dutch, yes. Holly, hi Holly, yes. And John, lovely to be with you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.